Hey everyone, Matt here. What you need to know about the stimulus checks and Social Security, retirement, disability, survivors, SSI, and VA benefits going forward into 2021. I have many different topics here I'm going to cover, including will you need to pay back your stimulus check? Will you need to pay taxes on your stimulus check? Will the stimulus check impact your monthly benefits going forward into 2021? Will the stimulus check impact your SNAP benefits? Will the stimulus check be counted as income or resources? And what happens if you have not received your stimulus check in 2020? Now, when I'm talking about stimulus check, I'm actually talking about both of them. The $1,200 stimulus check that you received probably sometime in mid-2020, along with the $600 stimulus check that most of you should be receiving right around now. So let's get right into it. We have a lot to talk about. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is Matt. Thank you so much for checking me out. I'm back on a daily basis as your daily advocate and the underdog advocate. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for being here. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. I hope all of you are staying healthy and doing very well during this new time. And of course, Happy New Year. Thanks so much. Make sure to hit that subscribe button right below the video. Thank you for subscribing. Now that you are, we can talk about the content. So, number one, let's talk about the first question. Will you need to pay back your stimulus checks? Now remember, I said both stimulus checks. We're talking about $1,800 worth of stimulus check payments here. $1,800 worth of payments. So, will you need to pay them back? The simple answer is no, you will not need to pay them back. The reason for that is because the stimulus checks are actually an advance on a tax credit that would otherwise show up on your tax return. So the simple answer is no, you will not need to pay back your stimulus checks. So that's actually a good thing. $1,800 that you get to keep. Good stuff. Question number two. Will you need to pay taxes on your stimulus checks, the $1,800? Again, the simple answer is no. And the reason for that is for basically the exact same reason that I just said. It's an advance on a tax credit that's going to show up on your tax return. So you would not need to pay taxes on that. Now, again, really quickly, if you're someone who receives the benefits that I just talked about, Social Security, retirement, disability, survivors, SSI, and VA, typically, most of you receiving these benefits would not even file a tax return anyway. So again, doesn't really matter. You're not going to pay taxes on this, and you will not need to pay it back. Now, one quick thing, I do need to say this. This is not legal advice, accounting advice. I would highly recommend you talk to your own professional, your accountant, your CPA, somebody that understands your situation. I am not giving you advice in any way in this video, but rather just giving you this information. But again, you need to talk to your professional. I need to say that for legal reasons. So there you go. All right. Next, will the stimulus checks impact your Social Security or SSI or VA benefits going forward into 2021? The cool answer is no. No, they will have no impact on your Social Security, SSI, VA benefits in 2021, and they should not have impacted your benefits in 2020 either. So that's good. And exactly for the reasons that I've been saying, which is this is an advance on that tax credit. So it's a tax credit that's showing up on the tax return, and it's not going to impact your benefits, no taxes, and no paying it back. It's actually like the best of all the worlds, right? It's just, there it is. So another thing too, like I said, most of you in these categories typically would not even file a tax return. So that's actually, that's totally fine. If you don't file a tax return, it doesn't really matter. One thing I'm going to talk about here in just a minute is if you didn't receive your stimulus checks in 2020, what you can do to claim that money. So I'll talk about that here in just a second. Next, I want to talk about income. Will the stimulus checks, the $1,800, be counted as income? No, it's not. It's not going to be counted as income for exactly the reason I said, the advance on the tax credit. No problem, no income. What about resources? It's not going to be counted as resources. According to the Social Security Administration, it will not be counted as income or resources for 12 months, right? So for those of you, for most people, for all of you, let me back up. For most of you in this category, it shouldn't make any difference. However, for SSI individuals, it may make a difference. And here's why. For those people receiving SSI, there are resource limits. Most of you, if you're receiving SSI or SNAP, you know that there's resource limits. Now, here's the deal. It's not going to be counted as resources for 12 months. However, if you still have this money in your possession after the 12 months, then there could be a problem because then they could count it as resources. However, I anticipate considering the current situation that we're going through, I highly doubt anybody's going to be holding on to this money in 12 months from now. I'm sure most of us are already spending it on essentials, but just be aware of that. After 12 months, then it could be included as income and resources, which for most of you, it probably wouldn't matter all that much, except for those of you receiving SSI. The rules are much more strict when it comes to SSI. Remember that, the income and resource limits. Again, all of that is subject for a totally different video, but I just wanted to say that very clearly there. Again, what about SNAP benefits? Is it going to impact your SNAP benefits in 2021? No. It shouldn't. No, since it's not being counted as income or resources, it should have no impact on your SNAP benefits. SNAP is also known as food stamps or food assistance. If you're getting it, you'll know what I'm talking about. All right, let's get into the next question, which is, if you did not receive your stimulus check in 2020, what can you do to get it? Well, according to the IRS, if you did not receive your stimulus check in 2020, what you're going to need to do is file a tax return. Now, you might be thinking, well, I don't typically file a tax return because I receive Social Security or I receive SSI. Well, unfortunately, if you didn't receive your stimulus check in 2020, you'll need to file a tax return in order to get it. And the reason for it being is exactly what I've been saying throughout this entire video is it's an advance on a tax credit. So basically what happens is, let me give you a quick scenario. And here's the scenario. Let's just say you receive $1,000 in Social Security benefits each month through the entire year of 2020, resulting in $12,000 of income in 2020. All right, this is just a hypothetical example. So the standard deduction on your tax return. Now, I'm not going to get too technical, but I'll just make it really easy to understand. On your tax return, there's something called a standard deduction. It's just an amount that the government has determined you can write off of your income, just every person you can take it. So the standard deduction for 2020 is $12,400. Well, your income was $12,000, but the standard deduction is $12,400, ultimately resulting in your income going from $12,000 to zero. You've wiped out all of your income. So now your income is zero. But don't worry, the stimulus check, or otherwise known as the refundable tax credit on your tax return, which is the stimulus check, is actually a refundable tax credit. So what that means is even in the event that your income has been dropped down to zero, you can still get that credit. So there you go. Your income has been dropped down to zero, but you can still claim the tax credit and you could still get that stimulus check. So I hope that makes sense. Now, if you did not get either stimulus check in 2020, you could technically be eligible to get up to $1,800, $1,200 from the first stimulus check and $600 from the second stimulus check, $1,800. So that would be pretty nice for those of you who did not receive it. Now, again, if you're an adult dependent, if you were claimed as a dependent in 2020, unfortunately, you would not be eligible for either of the stimulus checks. If you were not claimed as a dependent, but for some unknown reason, you didn't receive your stimulus check, again, for some unknown reason, there's a lot of people out there, millions upon millions of people, that did not receive their stimulus check for some unknown reason. Again, if you were not claimed as a dependent and you have a Social Security number, you should be eligible for that payment. So you might need to file a tax return. But again, really quickly, this is not accounting advice. It's not legal advice. It's not investment advice of any kind. Talk to a professional that knows your situation, your accountant, your CPA, something like that. But that's it. I hope this video helps you out. It should answer a lot of the questions that many of you have. I will continue to come back on a daily basis as your advocate, but I really hope this video helps to answer many of those common questions that many of you are wondering that receive these benefits. So enjoy your day. I'll be back soon. Thanks so much for your support. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and feel free to share this video with any of your friends or family, social media, because a lot of people are wondering these questions, and I hope this video answers those for you. So enjoy your day. Thanks again, and I'll catch you later. Thanks, everybody. See ya.